is that many of them do not take the proper steps to properly organize. I've seen it all. I've seen some that just been doing business for years, haven't filed any corporate paperwork, haven't filed anything even close resembling an LLC. I have others that says, oh yeah, we're a 501c3. I'm not going to see your documentation. They show me an EIN number. I'm like, well, where's your letter from the IRS? What do you mean? Letter from the IRS that says you're a 501c3. Oh, you need one of those? Yeah. And so, so I participated in a number of seminars and just talked to smaller businesses about sort of the ABCs of forming properly and why you need to form yourself in some type of professional business structure. And a lot of people don't understand until it's too late the reason you form an LLC, a C-corp, an s-corp. The tax advantages, the liability issues. You can get some of the financial planners here, some of the tax consultants and other financial advisors that are here to tell you, but primarily it's to let you keep more of what you make and also to protect you from liability issues if you're sued, if your partner is sued, if something goes wrong with the business, so that you're not held personally liable and you lose your shirt. I had a client email me today. We're negotiating a lease. Client says, we just finished meeting with the landlord. They specifically formed an LLC to execute this lease. The landlord says, oh, by the way, we want these personal guarantees. I was like, no, we don't. I tell my clients don't sign personal guarantees because they usurp the purpose for the corporate protection that, we set up in the first place. Landlords, they want to be able to sue everybody and everything at their convenience and at their pleasure. We're like, no, we're going to negotiate this from day one. You won't rent, you deal with the LLC. Otherwise, go out and find somebody else to rent your unit. Let's see, just by show of hands. Oh, what's that? Well, that's in case, the corporation is sued and, the board members and the officers aren't held personally liable to either a judgment or they don't have to come out of pocket and pay their attorney's fees to defend the suit. Oh, we're a nonprofit. We don't have to worry about that. No. Particularly if you're a nonprofit, you are on the hook just as much, if not more so, than a for-profit corporation. How many of you all remember the United Way scandal about maybe 10 years ago? So the director of United Way, I think they sent him to jail. He at least, got kicked out the job, but he was held financially responsible for the mismanagement of several hundreds, if not millions of dollars. And that was a wake-up call to a number of nonprofit boards that said, hey, wait a minute, we can be sued, we can be held financially responsible. Yes, which is why you want to make sure that you are advised on all the layers of protection that you can get for whether it's a nonprofit or religious institution. And people say, well, we're a church. We don't need to mess with that corporate. I'm like, no. There is a legal entity called a religious institution, which is functioning just like a nonprofit. It just recognizes that you're a church. Same thing attaches. The deacon board or the board of trustees are your board members. The congregation are your shareholders. Pastor, all the other officers are CEOs, and whatever other politics go along, that depends on the denomination of that church. I'm not going to step on any toes. But, if you serve on a deacon board, trustee board, those meetings should be run like a corporation. Annual meetings, minutes being kept, audits. Audits aren't bad things. They're good things. They keep you out of jail. They keep you out of being financially responsible for the debts of the company. Some of the nonprofits that I've worked with, I automatically required an audit every 2 years. That's just so that we have a benchmark to know where we are, but also when the audit is done, it gives you better business practices to strive for. And it's understood that you're not going to do business perfectly from day one, but you want to have a benchmark to say, okay, these were our business practices in 2000, 2005, 2010. You want to show progressive improvement. So one of the things that I do, in addition to assisting the multitude of realtors that come through here, through every nook and cranny of closing a real estate transaction, getting a buyer to close or getting a seller to sell, please call me. We have an array of tactics and other resources that are at our disposal to help you get your deal closed, but also